Hunter Biden's trial just started. A trial for which he will be face justice for the crimes that have been alleged against him. The crimes that I think he's guilty of. If we want to be tough on the illegal acquisition of firearms in this country, as Democrats, as rational human beings, it goes for everybody. And it appears Hunter Biden acquired a gun illegally. And there should be consequence for that. If indeed he's found guilty. If indeed a jury of his peers finds him guilty. And Fox News is doing everything they can to try to obscure what is taking place and make it about the Bidens. I mean, we just witnessed Donald Trump's trial where his family didn't show up for the vast majority of days that he was there. Only at the very end did his family start showing up. The day he was found guilty, I think it was just Eric that was there. Melania didn't show up a single day. And Republicans, as I guess maybe a measure of juxtaposition, they think that's normal. They want to say that's normal. And then when Hunter Biden's family showed up, I mean, Joe didn't show up because he's being president. He's presidenting. But Jill Biden showed up because it's her stepson. It's her son. And that's what families do. They support one another. But in the eyes of Fox News, this is nefarious. This is jury intimidation. This is mafia or mob tactics, which is literally what you're getting ready to hear from Judge Jeanine Pirro, who then they throw it back to Trace Gallagher or whoever the straight news person is. And then he reads an excerpt from the Washington Post that literally talks about this being mafia tactics to show up for your family when they're facing prison time in court. It baffles the mind that the party of family values is going to malign the first family for showing family values. Then there's the other thing that she says about trying to draw that this jury was picked because they all have some relationship to addicts, as though that's abnormal. As though you don't. I have several people in my family who have substance abuse issues. We all do. We're all connected in some manner to someone who struggles with drug and alcohol addiction. It is so pervasive in our society, it's unavoidable. Watch Judge Jeanine Pirro blather on like a propagandist.
Make no mistake, juries do it all the time. And jury nullification means, okay, they proved the case, but we don't want to find this guy guilty. So they'll vote not guilty. And, I was counting when you were making comments. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jurors who have someone in their family who's had a drug or alcohol addiction problem or someone who died from alcohol or addiction. So they have picked a jury that is sympathetic and understands the consequences of this kind of thing. But in addition to that, you've got Jill Biden at the trial. But she wasn't just at the trial. She was at the selection of the jury. And I can't help but think that she was there trying to send a message. I'm here. She's got her arms around the family members there. We're the Bidens. This is Delaware. So on the one hand, you've got the sympathetic jury who have experienced the devastation of drugs and alcohol addiction. And then you've got kind of the mob mentality. We know who you are. We're in the courtroom and we're watching you.
All right. So, Judge, on that point, Jill Biden was in the court again today.
Right.
The president spent the entire weekend with his son. Michael Goodwin in the New York Post is observing that maybe there's some intimidation tactics going on here by the Biden family. He writes this: Joe Biden making a cynical power play aimed at keeping son Hunter out of prison, him in the White House. The president used the photo ops to make sure the world and potential jurors saw his loyalty. This was a mafia-like message. Screw with my son, and you screw with me.
It's inexplicable that people will watch. The only reason this succeeds is because they have created their own form of drug. It's propaganda. They peddle their propaganda, and it becomes an addiction. It titillates the audience. It enrages the audience, and they come back day after day for that fix of outrage, even about things that are not outrageous, like a family showing up to court to support their son, a guy that I think is guilty, and if found guilty, should go to prison, should do time, should answer for the crimes for which he was found guilty. But that, should we malign the family for wanting to be there for the guy? When you make a mistake that comes with legal ramifications, you should, face the music, as it said. But should your family not love you and support you? It's just bizarre, with the juxtaposition of what we're watching with them justify with Donald Trump, what they'll ignore relative to the family of Donald Trump. I recently did an interview on a panel with Wyatt Sharp. He's a young journalist in Canada. And it was amazing hearing the other lady. I'll link to the story when it posts. But it was amazing listening to the other lady on the panel tell me that, well, Donald Trump was just looking out for his family when he paid the hush money. That's the line that Republicans want you to believe. He was just looking out for his family. Well, where was he looking out for his family when he was raw dogging porn stars and then paying them to keep their mouths shut while his newborn baby, or just about to be born baby, was entering the world? Where was the concern and looking out for the family then? Anyway, Judge Jeanine Pirro, among the worst Fox News. Unbelievable. The people who somehow rise through the ranks to become judges, judging other people's situations, and this is what they bring. Anyway, what do you think? Let's talk about it in the comments. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at Dollemore.com. Hey, if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you value on a video by video basis or whatever, $2 a month, you can help support this work. You can help me make these videos for $2 a month. Click the join button below, become a channel member. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Great ways to take part in independent media. I would appreciate it. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Threads and TikTok and everywhere else, all of the places. As miserable of a time as it is often, I'm less and less on Twitter, but what are you going to do? Anyway, at Dollemore, I'm losing my train of thought in the middle of a sentence. What is wrong? At Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine, be less like Jeanine Pirro, and take care of one another.